Okay. I don't know why my camera is like that.
You want to adjust that?
I'm trying to.
It's
It has a mind of its own.
What time is it back home?
It's 11.
11.
Yeah.
It's 11 on a Saturday. I wonder, it's like everyone awake.
Sorry guys, I'm just adjusting my cam because the tripod has a little mind of its own.
Stephanie! Good morning, Stephanie. As usual, she's like the very first few that comes in. Good morning, everyone back in Malaysia. Sawadee ka! Sawadee ka!
Hi,
Stephanie,
sawadee ka.
sawadee. Right, today is like for the first time we are doing a Facebook Live, like concurrently both like
Simulcast.
between myself, yeah, and Kong Yu, and yeah.
So yeah,
It's very impromptu. It's nothing planned for. I need to share it first because I forgotten. I need to give it to you later on.
because if you
Yeah.
see us sort of having eye contact at two different spots on and off on your camera, that's because we're having a simulcast live from Koh Samui between myself and also Jessie. We'll just give a few minutes for people to settle in a little bit and for us to do all our sharings, and then we'll begin. Just as a little bit of a warm-up, we're also going to be, of course, talking about the detox that we are experiencing currently. And if you have questions on the process, because I did get a few comments on my public page, the Kong Yu, the Journeyist page on detox, and somebody expressed their opinion on that, and it's quite interesting. So we've got some answers and responses for those. Yeah. In the meantime, my side of things is still a bit of a, what do you call it? A bit of a tripod taking on the life of its own. So let me do some more adjustment.
Meanwhile, please let us know if you can hear us because we are tapping onto the resort's Wi-Fi. Let us know if you can hear us and can see us clearly, and if it's like very glaring at the back. If you can see here, we are currently at Koh Samui, and we are in this resort called the Health Oasis. Yeah. So today itself, if you have any questions regarding detox, wellness, in terms of, from my side, in terms of the Chinese metaphysics, if you're concerned about like who should be going, because you see, what we do, or what I personally do, is into like Chinese astrology and Chinese metaphysics, is we choose the right timing to do the thing that we should be focusing on to ease up the process so that it will be easier, it will be better, and it serves like more results at the end of the day. Alright, so it's not towards the end of our whole journey, detox journey yet, but so far I personally feel and can see some very, very positive results as well.
Right.
And that's why this particular session is about like sharing personal views, and from a Chinese metaphysics point of view, who should be doing detox when and why, and how is it beneficial for you personally, and in terms of your Chinese astrology or your party chart. We have problem with that.
No, I think
we have problem with that. Can you actually consider putting it together?
Yeah, it's really odd.
Yeah. Oops. Hi. we have some issues with Kong Yu's. Yeah.
It's so strange. Okay. Sorry, Brian. Having technical issues on Kong Yu, the Journeyist. Please forgive me.
I think it's good for you to run and grab hold of a yoga block and just stand it up here.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Okay, all right.
Okay.
I'll be back.
meanwhile-
Alright, so Jessie will entertain you in the meantime.
Okay, so forget about his page, focus on my page. Okay, so now, right, can hear clearly. Thank you, Brian. Jessica, I see Queenie is there. Queenie Chua watching from Singapore. Are you in Singapore, Queenie? Yeah. Alright, so if you have any questions about detox and all these things, like please do let us know. Yeah, because Kong Yu is going to start off with first about like his program. Like, if both of you are following Kong Yu's page, you know that this particular month itself is also attributed to wellness. So the whole August itself is actually considered a wellness month. But in fact, we planned for this without even knowing.
Yeah, we did.
Right.
We actually committed to this first. She committed first and then persuaded me to join, even though I've never done. Actually, we both haven't done
Yeah.
actually full detoxes
Yeah.
before, but I've never done diets. I have long time ago, the keto one, the low carb one. It was like 20 years ago or something like that.
Whenever you're with me, you have to consider doing diet.
Considering the amount of food she orders, right? So
Brian would know.
I think I've only done the keto diet. I've never done like a weight loss per se diet. Well, actually, keto kind of is, but it was for different reasons. I've never fasted, even though recently some people have, like introduced me to 10-hour fasting, which is apparently quite common and quite the rage these days. So none of that, but jumping straight into this 10-day detox.
Yeah, it's I will just say is that it's quite amazing, and for me personally, I find that it's quite magical as well. Not only physically, but mentally and especially spiritually as well. So I do feel a lot of difference in terms of like emotional, mentally, in terms of energy wise and all that, and also physical reactions to it. I personally feel a lot of like a physical body is actually reacting to this 10 days program, and in fact we are only on our 7th day. Is that 7th day?
Yeah, this is the 8th day.
Oh, it's the 8th day already.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, I lost count. All right, so it's like, after, on the 8th day of the program itself, I can actually personally feel the difference in it. And of course, today, those of you who have just joined us, hi, Po Ching. All right, so for those of you who have just joined us, today itself, I will actually want to go like transparent into the whole journey of like detox and why am I going through this, and in the first place is like who should be considered doing it, of course from a Chinese astrology or Bati point of view, as in like and is detox even how would say recommended, because we have a lot of like controversials, like people with different opinion, and a lot of people actually in fact reacted to Kong Yu's Facebook page that we do not need to go on the detox, as in like and a lot of like information to actually support that. So we're going to actually look into those questions, and we're going to like share it today. So if you have your Saturday morning here, maybe some of you are still lying in bed enjoying your Saturday morning, okay, if you have any questions regarding maybe your personal charts, okay, or even your personal curious, out of curiosity or whatever, do actually throw us the questions and we will try to actually get them answered. And for me personally, I feel that in terms of like face reading, because it's like I do face reading as well, even after the 8th day itself, I was just telling him this morning, like certain parts of the face features itself, it's not the features but the energy, the chi level. Those of you who have studied face reading with me, you will understand, like the chi level also changes. It's like the main reason I actually decided to come for a detox is because I find that I am at my all-time low when it comes to physical wellness. Have you shared that?
I have. Finally, everything is hopefully set. Sorry, because we are doing a simulcast, both on Jessie's public page as well as my Kong Yu, the Journey's page. So it takes a bit to set up, but we thought it was kind of fun to do a simulcast.
A bit blur, need to refocus.
Yeah, I have
It's
already.
Like you have to already refocus
Yes,
it.
let me
my
know.
side, is everything okay? Everyone following on my side, if it's clear, you can hear us clearly and all this, okay? So, wellness. That's the topic.
Like Jessie was saying earlier on, we actually didn't know that this month was Wellness Month, and then until towards the end of July, then I did a bit of research for my daily show on Trax FM, the radio show, and I realized that wow, it actually is Wellness Month for August.
Yeah.
And so I've been devoting a series of wellness posts as well as in conjunction with this trip. I ended up that way on the topic of wellness. And one of the interesting things is, maybe we can start off with that, is that there are actually many aspects to wellness. So should we touch a little bit about each of them? Yeah, so I think wellness has to be in totality. It's very difficult to get all the elements in at any point in time, but it is something that we should all strive for.
Yeah, and I've actually done like even my last year's talks about it. I talk about like the 8 aspects, or you can summarize it into the 7 aspects of wellness as well. And some of the aspects will be, okay, let me recall. I know, of course, like a lot of time, like people knows about our physical wellness. That's why the purpose that we're here as well. But beside physical wellness itself, we also have like financial wellness. We also have career wellness. We also have spiritual wellness. We have intellectual wellness.
Correct. So related to creative wellness. Also, intellectual and creative wellness are kind of...
What else? Social wellness.
That's right. And also emotional wellness.
Emotional wellness.
Very important.
That's very important as well. Emotional wellness.
And then one last one that I feel is important, which is environmental wellness.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So, So, what do you want to share about more into the wellness? It's
Well-
like, for me, it's like I can't wait to share about like my experience here in this particular resort.
Well, when it comes to those aspects of wellness, we'll leave physical wellness to last because that's what we're here for. It's part of physical wellness. But the important thing is the other aspects of wellness as well. Emotional wellness is something that's very important these days because we have to really get in touch with our feelings. Sounds a little bit kind of cheesy, or sometimes it sounds like a very feminine thing to do. But as a male, I find that it is something that's important, and we should actually feel more.
Yeah, I like that you bring up the fact that you mentioned that when it comes to emotional wellness, that a lot of people thought that for guys, maybe for the masculine, you would think that it is like a very feminine thing to do, right? In the fact that's like, we have been always talking about it, the importance of like feeling our emotions. To be able to feel is very important to be able to live, right? Because I believe that for us as a human being, we have been given the gift of like emotions ever since birth. It's our birthright to actually feel, that we are created in such a way to feel. But I think somehow along the way that we have been programmed by the society, by the beliefs of our environment itself, that certain feelings are wrong, certain feelings are not right, and it is wrong for a man to be so sensitive,
Correct.
to be so emotional. All right. I think that is something that it is very important, and it's very important to actually share about it and talk about it nowadays. That even male babies cry is the first thing that they comes out from the mother's womb. Okay, and it's for a reason, because it's an expression of a certain emotion that we have inside us.
Correct. It's a couple of things. One is, traditionally, the males have been taught to repress their feelings. That's one. And second is that important thing about being able to feel all emotions, whether they are positive emotions or negative emotions, because you need to process them. It's also something that I have personally learned also along my journey as a person, and of course in my relationship with Jessie. It is important.
It's not easy to get into a relationship with Jessie.
It's important to process negative emotions and to acknowledge them. Acknowledge and then process and face them. And then that leads to, of course, a deeper understanding of what's going on and issues that need to be resolved.
Yeah, and I think like there are some basics emotions that we need to remind ourselves. There are many different types of like the basics, like 6 or 7 types of emotions we have. At least there are few emotions that is also like very important that we need to always pay attention to. Is like anger. Okay, anger is this like a lot of time people are trying to like stay away or steer away from anger because they believe that it is wrong to be angry. We always want to portray that or put on a mask to show people that, wow, okay, it's cool, I'm good, I'm happy, everything is fine. And all this repressed anger eventually will also act up like as a problem or as an issue, okay, within us. But we will leave the emotions part to another side, or else, So there are some questions here.
That's why already Brian wants to know whether we have done any meditation. So keep KIV that question.
Okay.
We'll answer that later. Yeah. So so we're talking about the spectrum of wellness, and again, on both sides of the
Mei
life.
Kun Yap.
Yes.
Okay, you can continue. Mei Kun Yap. I saw Siskar Gardens Mall.
Show us, comment and share with us your opinion on any of what we are talking about, as well as questions, right? So there's physical wellness, there's emotional wellness, and there's spiritual wellness, right? The ability to connect to the spirit, as well as to see ourselves as being connected to the entire universe, which is, I think, the sort of the highest form of wellness there is, right? But to aid that, then there's the more grounded, sort of earth-related, that we are human beings living on earth. We need to eat, we need to, have our basic security needs covered and all that. So those aspects of wellness, of course, have to do with financial wellness in the modern day, right? Because we don't go and hunt for food and look for food anymore these days. For most of us who are not in agriculture or, fisheries and all that. And then related to that, of course, career wellness. Career wellness has to do with having a career that actually is fulfilling
Yeah.
meaningful.
It's truly you're passionate about doing.
right.
Because I find it's like the career wellness and the financial wellness, even though it's intertwined, and I do agree that it's intertwined, but it's, I mean, to me personally, I find that it's like two aspects altogether, that is both equally important to be balanced on it. Because I find that throughout my work of like consultations and meeting with clients and all that, I find that there are times where a lot of people, they do have the financial security or the financial wellness. It means that they have a job that pays them really well. And we're talking about like maybe like 20 grand per month or whatever. But the thing is, they might not be actually having their career wellness part. It means that the job that they're doing might not be that something that they're truly, truly passionate about doing. And in fact, they're still dreading about like doing the job that they're doing, but they keep on doing it because it pays well.
Right.
It can support onto the financial wellness or the financial balancing into their life itself, but yet it is, how to say, leveraging on, or what's to say, I was like risking on the wellness inside on the career side.
Right.
Okay, so if you don't have like a career or a job scope that you're truly passionate about, that you enjoy and you are truly happy, okay, that you look forward to it, means like every day, like on a Saturday, on a weekend, that you're looking forward to Monday, all right, or like, you know, because it's like, it's where you can get back to your work again, that you doesn't feel like work, that is when you achieve your career wellness. Okay.
Yep.
But I also see a lot of people that they have their career wellness, they're really doing the things that they really enjoy, they love it, they are passionate about it, but yet it is not exactly doing very well in terms of their financial wellness part.
Right.
All right, it means financial wellness to me is about like our financial management. How do we actually manage our financial? Because I have also seen people that probably, example, they can earn 10 grand per month, but they are spending 12 grand per month. All right, okay, so in this course itself, you can have a good career to support the income, but you might not have the wellness of like the financial planning for you to grow the income or the money itself. So that can create a long-term issues or a problem as well.
Correct. Yeah. So it's important, you know, individually as well as because they're both kind of related in a way, that, you know, both aspects of those wellness are also covered. Yeah. Then on top of that is of course social wellness, because no man is an island or no woman is an island. So we all need to relate to other people and find our sort of position within society and also within communities and also within family and friends.
Yeah, this is like the relationship part. So we have to work on the relationship parts and like know how we communicate, how we get along with people, instead of like running away from the issues that arise. Of course, it starts with those that matters. It's like the immediate family members. Okay, those are directly linked or directly, in a way, linked to us for a reason. Okay, so instead of like running away from the issues that we have with them, it's like how are we going to actually put in the effort to resolve the whole situations, and that's very important as well.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Brian. My tripod isn't moving, but the camera is moving. It's like I say, it's got a life of its own. Yeah. So do bear with that.
Alright.
Yeah. So we talked about social wellness, and then of course intellectual and also creative wellness. Right. Intellectual wellness, to me, it's all about things that stimulate our brain and our mind.
Yeah.
So it's important that that is present in our lives. And I think if you're, for example, if you're doing a job that has none of that, you're just repeating the same things day in and day out, you know, so that probably isn't tapping into one's intellect or creativity.
Yeah, intellectual wellness or creativity is all about like, because you see, in Chinese we call it like hok to lo, wut to lo, hok to lo. It means like, you know, you learn until the day that you die, you grow. Because I find that a lot of times, just like I mentioned again and again, right, okay, people find things in their life become stagnant. It can be like their job or their life, they feel miserable, they are not sure why is it, because it's like there's a lacking of growth. All right, and a lot of time people thought that, okay, intellectual is something that, okay, when I go to school, when I graduate, that's the part that I have to actually put into like intellectual. It means I have to learn when I'm in my school days, but once I'm out from school, that's when I make the money. Okay, and a lot of times people stop learning, people stop growing intellectually, and that over time itself can also becomes an issue or a problem as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Hi Judith.
Hi.
We are watching from Philippines. Hi Judith.
Yes.
Oh, I love you too, and I miss you.
In a short while, I'm going to try something with my tripod and see what happens, but okay, that's in a couple of minutes. So then the last one, of course, environmental wellness. And to summarize it, because, you know, we don't want to talk like per se on environmental issues and all that per se.
Yeah.
It is just, you know, knowing that you are living in an environment, you are all part of an environment, whether or not you're living in a city and all that, which I find sometimes when you live outside of a place which is natural or nature, then you forget that that whole natural system or planet Earth is isolated from you, or maybe you don't feel like you belong to it. So, but the bottom line is that no matter how, you know, much buildings, whatever, or how urban an area, it's still part of the environment overall. So environmental wellness is that, you know, understanding and awareness of that, and also doing our part to make sure that, you know, we preserve the environment the best that we can, and we just do little things that we can in order to...
Hi Shirley, hi Patricia.
In order to, you know, make sure that the earth is as healthy as possible.
All right. Anything else about the wellness? Because honestly, for me, when I do this impromptu Facebook Live, I didn't share it out on my Facebook page. And thanks for still like tuning in on a Saturday morning, because I really want to take this session as like sharing. A lot. I preempt Kong Yu. I say like, you sure you want to do a Facebook Live with me? Because it's like once I get into that mode, it's like I'll be like sharing really deep down to my even like whatever that I really feel deep down inside
That's
me.
right. So there'll be feelings, and there'll also be some technical information on Chinese astrology.
And I really would like to actually share about like what actually prompted me to actually make a decision, because I've been talking about like going on a retreat detox like since earlier this year, and also there's of course a reason for it. Of course, physical reason is because for the past 2 years I've been actually taking my day off a bit too much, because you know when you have your specific diet that you actually follow through, and then everyone takes a day off, like we call it a cheat day, right? A cheat day off once a week, okay, for you to eat whatever that you want to indulge yourself into. And I think for the past 2 years I've like taken 2 years of cheat days. That's a bit too much, okay? And it has actually plunged, and people who know me since like years ago, and you will see that like you will see me at this size, and then suddenly it's this size, and then suddenly it's this size, and suddenly it's this size. So I always have this like people commenting to me when they see me. They didn't see me for some period of time. Yeah. Okay. And then they will come up to see me. Oh my, Jessie, wow, you put on, wow, you look like more prosperous now. It's like you put on quite a lot of weight and all that. But then some people will see me and say, wow, Jessie, it's like, you look slimmer now. It's like all happening at the same time. It's just like different people who knows me from the different stages in my life itself. So they'll give me a different perspective. Anyway, my sharing is like I was find that for the past 2 years itself, for some reasons, it can be I have to agree that it is also some like emotional things, like the things that I couldn't let go, is the stress, and a lot of things that's going on inside me that I've yet to actually face, and I've yet to actually like see deep enough. There's a lot of fear inside me that leads on to emotional and impulsive eating, and indulgence that leads me to voila, 2 years, and I am at least 20 plus kilos heavier, right? Yeah, look at his face expressions. Y'all should see his face. It's like whenever I mention about all these things, right, his face is like he doesn't know how to react.
Yeah, not just that, right? We're having some connection issues there.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Do you need to refer to this, you think? The iPad?
Yeah, I mean, to read the questions, to just refer back to the questions that we need to answer. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like, and that triggers me, and of course, I also find that this year, okay, now why do I actually choose to actually go on this particular retreat and detox is because this is a dog year. So those of you who know Chinese astrology, right, okay, this year is an Earth dog year, or the Wuxi year itself, right? Now, Earth year, Earth is the element that actually, and dog, now there are two elements that is like really, I would say that really holds on to the most toxin, okay, or the toxic in the earth itself. They're all together, there are 4 graveyards or 4 earth. So the dog and the ox is the two elements that holds on to the most toxic. So that's why ever since last year health event that we talk about, right, this year people with the dog or the ox, okay, even with the dragon in their chart itself, are the people who has to pay attention to a lot of health issue, especially relating to growth and tumors or even cancerous.
Right.
Now, throughout this 8 months of like the dog year, I lose count on like the numerous incidents or news of the people that I know or related to me that have actually like been diagnosed with cancer issues. Okay, and yeah, so it is still going on, and a lot of people have had that. And in my chart itself, I do have ox, and I'm going through a luck pillar, which is a dog luck pillar, and I do have 2 dragons as well. So that actually prompted me and initiated me to actually go and clash whatever that we have this underlying toxic in our body itself. Because this year, whenever you have a clash, that's why it is very good for people if you have a dragon in your chart and also an goat. So if your chart itself, you have a goat or a dragon, this year will be a good year for you to consider to do some, at least some detox plan or a detox diet, or go on a detox retreat. The reason being is why? Because the ox, okay, the dragon is a clash with the dog.
Hi, Annie.
Okay, and then the goat itself is actually a destruction with the dog. So when this year comes in, it destructs the earth. Okay, so when it destructs the earth itself, it has a very high chance of losing out all this toxic. So when the toxic gets losing out, okay, it is also the time for them to spread. Okay, so when losing out is time for them, it awakens them. So when it's awakened, it is better for us to flush it out as much as possible. Instead, if not, it will stay on into our body, and the chances of it growing and how to say, or transforming or changing forms into like potential like tumorous or cancerous cell will be higher.
That's a good point. I never really saw it that way. I mean, Jessie was referring to Chinese astrology. In case you are curious, or maybe you don't know anything, or just a beginner and a thing, then all you need to do is plot your 八字, that's a Chinese astrology chart, and see whether you have those animal signs that Jessie mentioned. And it's so true, because those issues with earth normally signal contamination, signal issues with contamination issues, worst case scenario, of course, cancer, but there are other milder versions of certain diseases and all that. So yeah, I never thought about that. It's detoxing is a way of clearing all that earth.
Yeah, because like throughout the journey of like teaching and all these things, right? A lot of people, when they look at Chinese metaphysics, they look into our day-to-day things, our career, our businesses and all that, that they've forgotten to actually like all the punishments or relationships or the clashes or the destructions has, and also like a part of it that you have to look into the health or the wellness side. For instance, this year is a dog year. It also forms a bullying punishment between the ox and also the goat. Now, bullying punishment on the external view, they say that okay, you got into a situations where you feel bullied. It can be office politics. You feel like you're unhappy. You feel suppressed in the situations. But imagine if you put this on a more micro scale, it is not us, but it's also ourselves. Alright, okay, so when you go through a year which is the dog year, it also means that the dog year, and if you have a ox or a goat in your chart, it means that instead of you emotionally feeling bullied, your cells or all your micro cells in your body itself, they also have what we call a bullying punishment. And imagine when we have a situations of like cancerous cell with the healthy cell itself, when the cancer cell is overtaking the healthy cell, it is actually a situation of bullying punishment.
Exactly.
Because it takes charge, or it grows, and the stronger actually now bullies the weaker cell in our body. So that's why if you have the ox or the goat, right, when the dog year comes about, okay, it is a best timing for us to really consider to going on a detox plan, all right, or at least take some time off to clear our body. And there are many different types of like detox retreat or plans or diets available, right? The question is now is like a lot of times like we also have like it becomes very controversial. It is for business point of view, is like really people creating all these things to make money, okay, out of it, or does it really work? Okay, all these detox juices, all this colon cleansing, the colonics that we're doing here, right? Okay, does it really work, or is it necessarily? Because I think Kong Yu page itself, we have like some comments saying that we have articles like proving that our body do not need a detox.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so what's your point of view of that? It's like, I mean, for me,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
But before that, I just wanted to also add something, and that's, I think, something important for us to remember, because you know, when you look at the Chinese astrology chart, so a large part of understanding is
Hi,
actually
Richard.
understanding how we feel, and through looking at the relations within that chart, we actually manage to decipher that. And it's so important to note also that when it comes to the relation of the punishments and all that, that it has got to do with feelings. It will give you feelings of angst, like, you know, like, why is it like that? And those feelings, when they're not processed, are usually the issue. And so, and hence, this is the relation between physical wellness and also emotional wellness. Because again, if you don't process the feelings, then those feelings actually result in physical changes in the body, which are detrimental. And vice versa, if you do a physical intervention like a detox to remove those, you know, toxins and all that, then actually it will make you feel emotionally better also.
Yeah, and yeah, Richard, okay, I mean, you say that Richard actually says that his detox is fruits, vegetables, and lots of water, and that's exactly what we are going through now.
Yeah.
All right, because it's like for us, we don't even get to have fruits. We are going on a fasting. It's just a liquid fast, and we only have a very, very diluted fruit juice, all right, and lots of water.
Correct.
And I mean,
And vegetable broth.
yeah,
Which
it's
is
all
also
water.
light.
This is all our meals
Yeah.
for the past like 8 days that we've gone through. This is tamarind juice, we have watermelon, and it all has been diluted down at least 70%. And at first, right, that thinking of it is like when we're analyzing about the whole program, coming in on the first day itself, right, we do have some mental challenge. As in, like, the mind keeps telling us, like, oh my god, okay, how are we going to survive on just water?
Yeah, especially
on just
me.
juice, right? Okay, so it is quite a challenge, because before we even like started this, right? Okay, the mind is telling us to pull back. It's like the fight or flight situations. It's like instead of fight on, we are like a part of us is actually telling us,
Yeah.
okay, it's time to go home.
Correct.
Okay,
Well,
this might not be good for you. It might not work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to consciously tell myself not that, but I was definitely feeling a little bit of that, because, you know, I've never fasted before, and the idea of not having any solid food for so many days was just very strange to me.
Yeah, and the key word is the idea of having no solid food. It's the idea is the mind, and throughout these 8 days itself, I find that it's all in the mind. All right, so it's like before we even started doing it, the mind already give us signals to just run away. It's like take the flight situations instead of like fighting on.
Yeah.
But now it's 8 days, and I find that it's totally fine, and in fact, I'm enjoying the process. That I feel like better. Okay, and of course, throughout, besides just fasting, we have a lot of activities. At first, I thought that it will be a very relaxing detox. Imagine I just come here to a very beautiful resort. I just sleep when I want to sleep. I just rest when I want to rest. But it is not so, because we have a schedule full on every 1.5 hours.
Correct.
Okay.
That was what I was under the impression of, you know. You go out for so-called meals, which are just these, right? And then, of course, there'll be exercise programs, and yoga is one of them, which we love.
Yoga every damn day.
But I thought that was about it, you know, like, okay, then you have obviously your supplements and those so-called meals at, you know, those 3 main meals of the day, but actually no, it's every 1.5 hours.
Yeah, okay, and after going it for the 8 days itself, right, okay, I feel that there's really a lot of changes, and of course, like, my purpose of like coming to this is like not actually like, okay, I don't aim to actually change physically in 10 days. That's not my aim, because I know that it's some things that I took 2 years to get to where I am. All right, I need to take some time to give myself time to actually get back to where I was. All right, so but the good thing is because this particular retreat itself is definitely served as a very good kickstart. It kickstart like my mind to go back towards that particular mindset of like going on like a healthy body, healthy diet, sort of like a mindset. And I also kickstart that my body now is like starting to actually like love natural tasting things. Alright, okay. In fact, the broth here is the soup that we have here is like it tastes really good. Like especially for today itself, right? It tastes really good.
It keeps changing, by the way.
Yeah, but somehow I can
The taste.
feel the taste that it's not as natural tasting as far. There could be some like some salt or like some like barista has been like added onto it.
The
So,
latest batch.
yeah, the latest
broth,
batch.
yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't taste as natural, and your body can now tell. And I like straight away, even though it tastes good, right? But you will just retract from it. You just feel like, I'm not taking too much of that. Instead, I will take others more.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Right, so, if you have any questions on the process itself, feel free to ask and we can explain some more. You were asking me earlier about the detox process and what I felt about it. Somebody responded, of course, to my post on my page here.
Yeah.
On that it's not necessary, that it's all a myth, and of course companies are just making money generally from it, right?
I mean, I don't doubt the fact that it's true. There are a lot of people are trying. I mean, it's business world. I mean, if it's a business that like every business is trying to make a money out of it. Okay, it's just that how far they go from that perspective.
Right.
And yeah, when you ask me, it's like I mean, what about all of you? Like, what do you think? Is this detox really necessarily, or you think that it is like the body itself is like on an auto detox mode?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what the commenter was saying. That it's a human body which is able to do a lot of miracles, isn't it? It can rejuvenate itself, it can heal itself, and all that. So why are we disturbing
Yeah.
the process?
Yeah.
That was the opinion expressed.
Yes, so it's like a lot of people thought that like because we are creative in such like we are given it's really magical, our body with the cells will know how to rejuvenate on its own, right? Our internal systems know how to cleanse itself and all these things, so it is auto detox mode. Then why on earth are we actually going on a detox retreat to cleanse the colon and like to drain out all all the so-called whatever remaining residues that we think we have inside and rest the organs itself? I wouldn't say rest, but at least like relieve it from too much of hard work, so that it can rest for a while and it can actually process much better for the future use itself. Like, what is your call into this? Do you think it's necessary to go on a detox or detox program, or you believe that the body will know how to actually detox on its own automatically?
Yeah. I think for me, I mean, I think Richard has a comment as well.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's true, the body is miraculous, it's able to heal and rejuvenate and even detox itself. But I find that in certain situations it needs assistance. I mean, it needs to be helped. You need to encourage the detox process by, for example, one is to rest the digestive organs a little bit more, so you don't put in the regular amounts of food or types of food that you do eat from day to day. So it is actually sort of just like the overall human body.
Yeah.
Because we need sleep.
Yeah, thanks Jennifer. Yeah, she mentioned that no need to detox, more on retreat and rest and sleep, and it's more important. That's very important.
Sleep.
I do
Yeah.
definitely agree with that. Because also because of like I mean, those of you who like follows like, even my Facebook, I know I've like missed numerous weeks of like Facebook Live and numerous weeks of like Facebook sharings and all these things. It's also because it's like for the past few months itself is like no complaints. I'm blessed and I'm grateful for it, but the schedule is really crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
it's like flying. I mean, I just go back, touch base in my home. It's only for a night transit, and then the next day off again. We are like going to another place.
Yeah.
So, and because of all these things, yes, I will believe that the body overstress up, and that's also the reason that triggers me that I can't wait, and I'm so looking forward for this particular retreat itself, because I start to feel that bloatedness. You can see that my face started to bloat, and my eyes started to swollen, and my actually my fingers and my hands are all like, it feel like a bit like arthritis.
Oh, but it's so much better though.
Yeah,
I have to say.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and on the day that when we came, it's like my whole hand is actually bloated. It feels so like really pulled, and like I can't really like close the fingers that much. Okay, it feels a lot of water retention and arthritis, and in between the joints or the bones itself is actually painful when you actually press onto it. So yeah, and after 8 days of going through all this like fasting and clearing the system and everything, and I did an acupuncture yesterday,
Yeah.
and I mean, I feel good. I don't feel the retention anymore. I don't feel that my legs is as bloated and as swollen as before. In fact, like the water level just like goes out. So
Right.
that's
Hi, Alan.
that's definitely. Oh, hi, Ellen.
Yes,
Alright,
hi, Elaine.
So that's definitely something that is like working. It's
Right.
definitely working, and I'm sure that if you have the discipline enough to do this, like straight fasting at home and whatever, it will also work for you. But the thing is, I will choose to actually go out on a retreat because for me is I want a new environment. I want a new place, okay, that is like set up in a way that is very serene and is very like calming and peaceful for me to not only rest my body, but the most important thing is like my mind as well. Because for business owners or like people who are like doing something on your own, you know that one of the thing is our mind constantly on the move. We always think, and also for the job that we do, because we come up with strategies with people, we help people dissolve and solve issues and problems itself. So our mind is constantly on the work. It is very difficult for me to rest it. But here, because we do have meditation, so Brian actually asked like, do we have meditation?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. We do have meditations. We go on like yoga, meditative yoga. We go every morning, we go on a very aggressive yoga. And it feels really good.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And I would have to say also, because back in KL, I do try to do yoga, but I'm very irregular. It's like I try to go every week, right? It doesn't usually end up that way. Once every week or 2 weeks is maximum. And doing it every day here is a huge difference.
Yes.
Yeah, to anyone, no matter what your level is, I think to actually regularly do that. So again, it speaks for regular exercise and especially for something like yoga. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and also one more thing is like back to just now, the questions about like, is detox really necessary? I mean, just my personal point of view.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
Got
like
some
it's
opinions
like,
here as well.
Yeah, it's just really my personal point of view, as in like now. If you ask me, like, would I actually like go on this? It's like, some people goes like a few times a year. If you ask me personally, for now, I don't think that would be necessary, and I don't really want to encourage that as well. But if you think like for me, for the past 42 years in my life, I've never done on a fasting or a detox program ever. So I really think that it's necessary for me to actually go through this entire retreat and entire program, because it's like the reason being is because I've overloaded myself with a lot of junks inside me. There's a lot of toxic that I can actually feel it physically. So I mean, if you ask me whether retreats and detox is necessary, I think it is. Even the colonics, because a lot of people were saying that it's just like there's no scientifically proven that, like, when you go through all these detox things or whatever, it is like really helping your organs. Okay, but the thing is, I think if you take some time or some break off to really like relax and not overload our body with toxic, that would really help. And then of course the article of like someone commented on your Facebook page as well, they were saying that right from the 80s onwards and all that, okay, a lot of like people are coming up with like different types of like businesses that tries to actually like make money out of our pocket. It's like the gym are like sprouting since the 80s. Like we have gyms and wellness things and all these things, where else earlier than that you don't really have. I mean, I'm talking from a Malaysia point of view, okay? So it's like we don't really have that. And then from the 90s and the millennial time now up to now, it's like more and more of this like wellness programs, like retreats, and more gyms are coming up. So is it necessary for us to actually go on like a total detox, okay, program? Which I think it's, I mean, the reason I give is like, because like I would think that back in our parents' time, probably those days, okay, I mean, even fast foods are not easily available, right? We did a research, okay? We did a research that even like the first, I think, is it the first fast food chain?
Well, it's the most popular, and I think it's with the other burger. There's one burger chain and there's one fried
I mean, we
chicken.
can mention it's like our own Facebook
Basically,
Live, like Kentucky,
the
right?
KFC,
KFC,
and also A&W.
Yeah, if you really Google it, right, KFC or probably A&W are only into Malaysia, penetrates into our land in the 70s. If I'm not mistaken, it's like 1973.
Yeah.
All right, and then McDonald's only come in the 80s, the
McDonald's
early
is
80s.
quite later.
Okay, it means that anything earlier than that, right, we have limited access to junk food. Right, we have limited access to all these like super, I wouldn't say it's super unhealthy, right? But it's not really the healthiest food available. There are debates going on that particular part as well. So it's like all these things has been like really before this, there's not much of such thing. It's mainly home cook and all that, okay? But when all this like junk food comes in, and that's when we start stuffing ourselves with all these things.
Yeah, it's the whole modern lifestyle thing, because back in the day, people didn't used to eat the way that we do now. Okay, and then I think there's more awareness towards eating healthier and less processed foods and all that now in this past 10 years at most. But before that, it's like, wow, there was a period in time where there was a lot of reliance on all that processed food, fast food, junk food, and all of that. So those were not the meals that our foremothers ate. They ate very natural things mostly. So they probably didn't need a detox.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Exactly,
Yeah?
and that is when you can fall back to the debates or to the reasons why the body will know how to take care of itself, and it's auto detox where and our like forefathers or even grandparents or great grandparents, I think mostly they ate like the meal in a week is like mostly vegetables.
Correct. Yeah.
And then probably in the olden days, it's only during festive seasons that you have like meats. You have like chicken or you have like lamb or whatever, right? But nowadays, it's like mostly on the table itself is all meat. Sometimes if you are good enough, it will be one vegetables or none.
Yeah.
Okay, right. In the olden days, it were mainly vegetables, but now we are like meeting a plate where it's one big chunk of like meat,
Yes.
and then loads of rice, and probably like just a few like vegetables. And most of the time, you see a lot of people is like the vegetables are left untouched. Okay, and the meat and the fries are all gone.
Yeah, I guess back in the old days, people rarely ate meat.
Yeah.
It's like a special occasion, special treat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So nowadays we are, in a nutshell, we're actually taking in more toxins.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, they may not. I think when people think about toxins, sometimes they think chemicals. It's only chemicals, toxins. So why do we need to remove chemicals from our bodies if I generally eat healthy already? But we're talking about toxins, not literally, but contaminants or imbalances in the body.
But there are also definitely more toxins in terms of like pesticide, because remember the documentary that we watched. Okay, nowadays it's like, right, because of like what they'll call it, the food that's like genetically modified.
Right.
All right, all this
which has been around for quite a long time.
and all this genetically modified food and all that is like it becomes more and more advanced. That nowadays when they modify it in a way that it comes with pest control. You can actually plant it and actually it won't be like really infested with a lot of pests and all these things. So imagine we take all these things in our body, and I don't think, all right, now our body is tuned in a way that it can automatically, detox natural toxic.
Yeah.
But it's not on all these like chemicals or man-made toxics that we actually start feeding ourselves with. All right.
And another thing to remember is that, as Jessie also mentioned, it depends on how long the person has been, the age of the person. If you're in your teens or 20s, then maybe there's no
probably there's really no
reason
need
for detoxing.
it. Alright, okay, and for me, it's like, as I mentioned, it's like for the past 40 over years, I have not really gone on a detox before, so I really think that my body needs one. And when I do it, I can see like really visual signs of like physical like reactions to it. Okay, and I think like Kong Yu and like some of our friends here don't see as much, but to me, it's like you can really see. It's like, and for the past few nights, like the thing is like those of you who followed my health talk last year, you know that we have a 24 hours like chi cycle in the body, and between like 2 to 4 a.m. all right, between 2 to 4 a.m. 3 to 5 a.m. sorry, 3 to 5 a.m. is where the lung is actually working, that the chi travels to the lung where it's expelling a lot of like toxic in the lungs and all that. So, and for the past few days, I have been actually coughing like 2 plus, like Thailand time. Means back in Malaysia, it's like 3 plus to 4 plus.
Yeah.
All right. So, and that is exactly for a few nights. I actually like coughed. I really cough like non-stop, becomes itchy, and I can feel that my lungs becomes and my throat becomes very itchy, like expelling a lot of like energy through the lungs itself. And these are the things that I've actually like witness and experience, which is really good, because if you cough, like for those of you who attended my workshops before, if you find that you wake up in the middle of the night, especially between 3 to 5, and you cough between those hours itself, right, it's a way to tell you that your lungs needs to expel. There's a lot of things in your lungs itself that needs to be expelled, and it is also a time for you to reflect. Are there any things or any emotions that's been kept inside you? All right, do you have any difficulties or any issues or problems into letting go or voicing out the things that you should be voicing out? Because right, we have actually got into a situation or an environment where like we feel bad into voicing out some of our honest opinion. Okay, whatever we feel, all right, sometimes we feel that it is not appropriate, or we feel that it is like not ill-mannered or whatsoever to just say something out. Okay, and we then try to keep all these things back into ourselves, and it will be kept in the lungs. Okay, so if you observe yourself between 3 to 5 in the a.m. in the morning, and you got awakened through dry cough, okay, if you feel that you are coughing really out, okay, it means that it is a sign to tell you that you have actually like keep on to a lot of negative energy in your lungs itself. It's a time for you to express from your lungs all the way up to your throat chakra, means to your throat, to voice out. Think of the things like, what are the things that you need to voice out? Okay.
Yeah, that's a good tip there. Regardless of whether you're aware of the technicals or behind the reasoning, okay. And I just wanted to share as well. And first of all, because I am distracted for the folks over here because my camera is acting really weird, right, on the other feed. So if you see me suddenly like smiling and touching things on the side, that's the reason. But besides that, I found that I've been doing a lot of contemplation during the hours of 4 plus local Thailand time, Samui time, and that's equivalent to about 5 a.m. back in Malaysia. And yeah, almost every night I'll be semi-awake during those hours, and I find that I'm processing a lot of information, and I am thinking about the past a lot, working out the issues that I faced in the past, also thinking about the present, a little bit of a detox, and even including the work that I must accomplish, whether it's the Facebook postings or whatever. And somehow that hour of between 4 to 5 a.m. plus is when I'm sorting out a lot of those issues, and I'm consciously, subconsciously processing a lot of the past also, so, and that is actually the hour actually that's good for meditation.
Yeah. Despite if you do Qigong, alright, if you do Qigong or Tai Chi, right, okay, a lot of times like the best time to actually do Qigong is actually between the 5 to 7 hour. So normally people wakes up at this hour itself to actually do it, because it's also the best time for us to actually get into a very good meditative state for reflections and all that as well.
Yeah, so Brian says, yep, even the supplements contain toxic. They're made of chemicals.
Yeah,
they can.
Alright, so that's why it's true. It's like, I mean, even though I think that supplements or retreats and all that is like, I do agree with it. But the thing is, we have to be very mindful of what we choose.
Right.
Okay, because it's like, I was just telling him there are some, because we have to take some supplements here as well. Like some of it is like cool, no issues and all that. But sometimes when I take certain supplements itself, it just doesn't feel right. Alright, if it just doesn't feel right, if you're already in tune with your body, if it doesn't feel right, then probably it's good for us to just say no to it.
Yeah.
And as mentioned earlier on, I have a lot of reaction besides the coughing in the middle of the night that you can also check on your own, even though you're not going on a retreat, but sometimes the body just needs to tell you something. So if you cough between like 3 to 5 a.m. that you wake up and you need to cough it out, it means that there's a lot of things for you to let go. You have to actually focus on meditate onto letting go and voice out whatever that's like really deep down in your heart itself. Alright, and another things that I've actually realized is like I have a lot of like rashes like really coming out from my skin, and you see that the skin is also the largest detox organ. Okay, the skin is actually the largest detox organ itself. Okay, so when you see that, it's like I see a lot of like really rashes really coming out from the skin, and that's how much toxic that I have like physically inside of me. And that's also the reason where, and you know that I'm a very stubborn person, so I like to go on from one extreme to another extreme. It's like when I go on like a proper diet, I will just go into extreme diet, and when I'm out of it means I will just totally indulge. Okay, so that's how it goes. All right.
Okay.
So
this is not the couch auction.
it's like, why is it a
Interesting
couch?
comment.
Why is it was a couch auction?
Yeah.
So like,
Richard has a couple of interesting comments. Usually for what I see You know, those who have dull,
Probably they have like,
grayish eyes.
I think maybe they have like some cross circuit somewhere.
Probably.
Okay, all right.
We're not auctioning a couch
We are
here.
not auctioning a couch.
Yeah.
Okay, this is interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I mean the thing is, I just find that the whole retreat itself it's good. Right, when I do the colonic itself now, honestly, there are the programs we have, like you can do a 5 days, a 7 days, a 10 days, 15 days, or even up to 28 days. Now I'm not quite sure, like how comfortable I am to actually consider coming back for a full month of
Correct.
detox.
Yes.
Because if we do that, it means that we have to do the colonic every day for a month. All right. So I am not really comfortable with that.
Correct.
So and I will think that 10 days is pretty good. I mean, probably up to 2 weeks. Okay, and if you ask me, like, will I do this again? I will consider, yes, I will do it, but I won't do it too often, because you see, I believe it's like probably maybe we need to balance it out,
Yeah.
right? Do not be too attached into it. Okay, so it's like if we are doing it, like, okay, I've not done it for the past 40 over years, and now I'm doing it, but I wouldn't be too attached to it. Okay, I also don't want to take it as it's a time for me to just go on an easy weight loss program. So I don't think it's really going to work, even though if I stay on 1 month here, even though if I can lose those weights, I don't think it's going to sustain if I really don't work on my like continuous diet on that. Okay, if I continue on to go into my indulgence and all that, and I'm still spur up with my emotions, which I already told Kongyo yesterday, I do have a lot of fear inside me, especially when it comes to relationship. Alright, and that's also the reasons why for the past 2 years itself, I've keep on like really emotionally eating, putting myself back onto where I am now, right? Because I just want to see is like how people sees me personally, as in like, because you see the samsaric or the environment is like you see someone also, wow, now you are like, wow, you lose weight, you are slim and you're pretty, but can people actually see beyond that? Can people actually see beyond the beauty of just a physical appearance? Alright, because to me it's important for me, because I've gone through a relationship that is just merely based on physical attraction, and it hurts deeply when like one day when you're out of form and you're out of love. So to me it actually creates a lot of hurt inside me. Until now I realize that it still has a very deep impact on me, that I have this fear that I have to test everyone around me whether they are able to actually accept and embrace me as who I am and not who I was. Okay, well, it's really like, because I keep on thinking, it's like, why do I actually get into such an emotional stage of like really like pumping up myself back, where I've worked so hard in 2015, where I go through another clash. It's like I work so hard towards achieving my ideal weight, and then after that I pump it all back, and really I do have this fear, this shame in me that I have to address to, right, of me really loving and accepting my body. Okay, because and shame part is like also very important, because like honestly, if you ask me about like a few years ago, will I actually go on a Facebook live like without makeup, looking like without my eyebrow? Because a lot of people say that I do not have eyebrows, okay, and then like with all these like fats like showing everywhere. To be very honest, like a few years ago, I wouldn't have even considered or think about it doing it, because it's shameful, right? But I think over the past 2 years, I have really pushed myself to have the courage to accept every part of my body as who I am and how I do look like. Okay, regardless of how people sees me, I don't care. Okay, so either you take it or leave it. That's sort of like mentality. So I mean, it helps. I will say that a good fulfillment, that now I know that I don't need to prove to anyone anymore, that I totally embrace myself. Yeah, and now I think I'm ready to, okay, it's time to actually get back myself to an ideal weight, not because I think that I can look more beautiful in it. I mean, I always tell like people telling me, hey, come on, voluptuous with all this like extra fats hanging around. I mean, it's fine and it's totally good at it. But the thing is, I need to get back to my ideal weight is because my health is actually acting up. My health is really, really acting up on me. And yeah, I need to preserve my health because there's so much more things that I love to do in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a big concern, of course, when it comes to health. But yeah, I was saying, for me, of course, like I said, a lot of it is, some of it is physical. So I'm glad I'm here because I get the opportunity to detox. Like I said, I'm also, of course, in my 40s, and it's a wonderful way to, of course, cleanse out the system. Although I generally, do lead a fairly balanced and healthy life already. But yeah, once every 40 years, yeah. And the other thing is, of course, the ability also by resting the body and cleaning the body and resting the processes, also some clarity of mind over some issues, of course, with superficiality, looking at things from the outside, from appearance, physical appearance sake. So I have a lot of contemplation and also sort of awareness on those issues, and not just on like how people look, but really on how I value things and how I choose the type of work that I do, and so on and so forth. So like even this whole camera going all haywire is actually, I feel like it's a challenge to my idea of perfection, because obviously Jessie's feed is okay, but my feed is like really messed up.
Yeah, mine is messed up as well. People start asking for a couch.
No, it
is.
is.
Fine.
But
right?
mine has been messed up from the beginning, and I feel like, oh, this is a test for me. Like, how do I, be less bothered? Because I'm working towards not bothered, but less bothered by these things, these distractions, and really still get my point across. So this whole detox process has allowed me to really get in touch with those issues and those ideas and awareness on that. There's something happening on this feed.
Yeah.
It's like being
I think it has been CrossFit somewhere.
CrossFit,
like,
or
fine,
it is spam or something. Okay, guys, we're not selling couches.
That's okay. Just leave it be. I mean, I'm sure they know from the content that we're talking about.
I'm not quite sure they're still asking
It's
us.
fine. It's alright. It's okay.
Okay.
Probably they're not seeing us. Okay, just
Maybe.
that we see the comments.
Oh yeah, you're right. The
because
comments
they might,
across
yeah, because they might not be seeing us.
Okay,
so
are
it's
we
fine.
still bringing on a special guest?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Of course, besides just the both of us, we also have like a very sweet couple, the lovebirds, I call them, right? They're also here with us, and Serene particularly, she have gone through the 8 days of the process, and I would really want to actually ask her, okay, to this particular Facebook Live feed itself. So why don't you just like keep them entertained?
I will. Okay.
And tell them there's no couch.
Right, she was very sweet. She brought us the shakes just now. She thought we hadn't taken them yet. Yeah. So yeah, just now Serene was off camera and she brought us the 1.5 hour shake that we have to take every 1.5 hours, and it really, it's a mixture of a little bit of the juice, like we said. Typically we like watermelon and also cucumber because cucumber has no sugar, and it's got a type of clay called bentonite clay, which is for cleansing purposes, and also psyllium husk, also for cleansing purposes, and also contains or fills up the stomach, so we feel less hungry.
Yeah.
Hi, Serene.
And Serene.
Hey.
Serene is here.
So you got two cameras to speak to. This one is a little crazy, but maybe with 3 people it's more balanced, hopefully. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So share us about your experience. We've been sharing our experience, okay, through the Facebook Live. Okay. So I want to hear from your side as well.
Okay. First of all, I must thank Jessie. She's the one who initiated and asked if I want to come for a
But
detox
she did
with
all the
her.
work. To be honest, she did all the
All
work.
the
She
research.
arranged everything, and she
Yeah.
researched for this health oasis, which I think is excellent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So also must thank all our partners for coming with us so that we can have a drink together.
That I just now I mentioned that lovebird somewhere there. Everything.
Okay, my experience. Okay, today is our 8th day. Okay, from the first day, actually first day we think we are happily here. Second day, when I do the colonics, I was a bit like upset because I was worried whether I could do it or not. But from the second time onwards, I feel that it's okay. And last night, 7th day, I feel that okay, it's easy, and I quite like it because actually detox is clearing our system, and we think that the whatever is in our colon, everything is flushed out during these detox days. You see, so I think I'm happy to come, and I will come again. Maybe not this place or this place, I don't know. And actually, I also must thank my friend Vinci, who actually she went through a detox.
Oh
at
yeah,
another center.
Vinci. Yes, she's on my
Yes.
Facebook as well, and I also see her experience.
Yes,
Yeah.
and actually we think it's a very good system because her center and this center is different. They operate different, and the daily so-called beverages and snacks and lunch is also different. You see,
This is all we get.
yeah.
This is all. This is all the snacks that we get.
Yes,
The
it's
main
our
meal.
snack.
Yeah.
And
Our
we
main
got
meal,
asam
soup.
laksa,
Oh,
worked
yeah.
up the
In our mind.
ingredients
In our mind.
because they put tamarind in the
Yeah.
greens, right,
Yeah.
in the soup.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I should think this is a very good experience, and I would really encourage everybody who has the time to come for at least 5 or 7 days.
Yeah.
Ours is a 10-day detox.
Yeah, even
And I
10
think-
days also is not that, I think, not that difficult to follow through. Also because we have each other company.
Yes, we enjoy each other company so much, and of course we look at the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our room is facing the sea front and the pool front.
Yeah, and
we
like
have
you can
all-
see that every morning they will go and like stroll along the beach, okay, grounding themselves on the sand of the beach itself, and like washing away with the ocean water, with the sea
Yes,
water,
yes,
with the
yes.
salt water. That's
And
really
the
good.
sea is very calm. You know, by looking at the sea every day, I think we feel refreshed and we are happy.
So I mean,
I like that question. Are you guys a part of a cult?
you guys, okay, because
We
I think
are own
I think
cult.
the Facebook have like some issues with like some CrossFit or something. So people come here and like start asking for. Asking questions which is like not relevant, but just let it be. It's
Yeah.
okay. More comments is fine. Even
But I
though it's
wanna,
not
I wanna
relevant.
ask, I wanna know from Serene what is the most meaningful thing about the detox so far, even though we've got 2 more days.
The most meaningful thing,
Yes.
I think, the most meaningful is, for me initially I thought it's weight loss, but now I think it's not. It's really clearing of our system, okay, and become lighter and healthier. Even though I don't really lose any weight, right? I think I'm lighter.
Yet.
Yeah.
You know why? Because she's stressed up. She's stressed up, but she have to make sure that everything planned out for us. She have to make sure that every time in time the meals are all laid out on the
No,
table
that's
nicely
not
for us.
true.
That's true.
No, no,
That's true.
No, that's
Yeah.
true.
It's,
She
it's,
stressed me out. I'll show you a picture of she taking for me the water for Coronix. You know, I have that evidence. Okay, every day she will snatch and say, "I take for you." You see, she's so strong. I said, "I know you're strong."
I can cover you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
think-
Anyway,
yeah.
I think I'm also very blessed to be able to actually do it, because to me initially I would thought that even though if there's no one coming with me, I would just do it alone. And then after that, I asked Serene, and Serene said, yeah, she's into it, and she do all the research, all the planning, all the bookings. And I was like, wow. And then after that, she told me that the other half is also joining her. I was like, oh, so loving, so nice. And then eventually also, of course, the other half also agreed, which I'm very surprised. Yeah, okay, is that he also agreed to also join on the retreat, the whole program itself, which, yeah.
Yeah, I think we are grateful. We are so blessed to have friends around during this detox period, because I think most of the people, they come alone, right? I mean, maybe they just want to be alone, but then for us, we have each other's company,
Yeah.
and it's fun.
yeah, that makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting how we had different expectations coming in here, but then we're kind of, 8th day, and we realized a lot of different things that have come up that's outside of those expectations,
Yes.
isn't it? And that's quite lovely.
Yes. And then I don't know whether they mentioned they have their daily yoga, and they have their gym, fitness center.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
us.
that's all the other supporting things.
Yes, and massage every day.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, massage every day. It's like, it sounds good. But I mean, if you ask me, it's like something that I would really, really miss here. I would say it's the yoga. Like, I mean, I'm surprised, but I really miss that morning session with the yoga. It's tough, but it's good.
I can see why people who are deeply into yogas practice every day. After doing it so far every day here, I can really see why, because I can feel the benefits, and I can now understand why, those who are very into it actually do practice it daily or almost
Yeah,
daily.
I wouldn't miss the colonics.
I wouldn't miss that.
It's definitely the yoga.
Yeah, I mean, our question for that is like, I wonder how how long a person can do that for. You know, like
Yeah,
you're
that's true.
basically washing out your large intestines daily. And here we're alternating between 2 sessions per day, 1 session per day. Ever since the 3rd day we're here, and already only on our 8th day we're wondering. I wonder if those people who
24 days.
have to do the
Yeah,
colonics for so
28
long,
days and all that.
28 days.
Yeah.
it kind of seems unnatural.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, the process has been really, really fun, and it's been very meaningful.
All right. I think like that's it since like it has
That's
been
right.
CrossFit
You're
and all
getting
that.
18 SX spam also, you know, on that CrossFit or what?
Really? Oh wow.
Somebody asked us a very naughty question
That's okay.
Really? Yeah, okay, see.
for the 3 of us.
I think probably it's like we're in Thailand.
Maybe. Yeah, that probably has to. But yeah, beautiful place. I love the fact
Yeah.
that we're at a beachfront. So the environment really helps a lot in keep getting us in the mood. Yeah, for everything, for the yoga, for the fasting, the liquid fast, and also for encouraging meditative thoughts and contemplation. And all that.
Yeah. I'm also very looking forward to like the end of the program because like somehow like the lovebirds have actually helped us to arrange. This is my
As
first
in
time here in Koh
Serene
Samui.
and her lovebird.
Okay, yeah, Serene and her lovebirds.
Somewhere
is
there.
Actually, somewhere there, okay. So they have actually helped me to arrange. This is my first time in Koh Samui and this is all I get to see, okay. It's just a retreat resort. But then she has like been very kind of her and like very thoughtful because she arranged like, oh, why don't we actually spend a night out into the most happening place in Koh Samui, which is the Chow Wing
Chow Wing Beach, yeah.
Beach, which I've never been. And they actually booked like, of course, like we are going to end this whole thing in a very luxurious way.
Not really, there's only a 4-star hotel.
But still, we are still checking into a very nice,
Yeah.
beautiful hotel. So I'm actually looking forward to that as well. And yeah, I'm really thankful because I've never thought of that. I thought of like retreat and finish, go home. But that's very thoughtful.
Yeah. We're going to do some sightseeing.
That's why she's so stressed.
No, we're going to do some sightseeing, and the most important is shopping for me. I don't
Oh
know
yeah,
about
yeah. She shops everywhere. Confine her in a room doing massage, and she's still able to shop. Trust me. Okay. All right, that's all
Okay,
for now. All
that's
right,
right.
thank you so much. Okay, for tuning in and like till I see all of you again, which I have no idea when.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
bye
thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Hope you all get your couch.
Pattaya has lots of couches.
Bye, guys.
All right, bye.